Leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about what you say and how you say it. The most effective leaders aren't necessarily the smartest or most experienced. They're the ones who communicate with power, clarity, and influence. Look at any great leader in business, politics, social movements, or any field. What distinguishes them? Their ability to communicate, to inspire with words, to persuade through speech, to connect through conversation, to influence through dialogue. They talk like leaders. And that's a skill you can learn. Most people think leadership communication is about being the loudest or most aggressive. It's not. It's not about dominating conversations or talking the most. Real leadership communication is about speaking with intention, clarity, and impact. It's about choosing words that inspire action. It's about conversing in ways that build trust and influence. Right now, your communication might be holding you back. Maybe you struggle to articulate ideas clearly. Maybe you hesitate when you should speak confidently. Maybe your words don't carry the weight they should. Maybe people don't take you as seriously as your capabilities warrant. This isn't about your intelligence or competence. It's about how you communicate those qualities. And that's entirely learnable. Think about someone you know who commands attention when they speak. When they talk, people listen. When they suggest something, people consider it seriously. When they ask for something, people want to help. That's not magic. That's mastered communication. And you can develop the same capability. Here's the truth. How you talk determines how people perceive you. Fair or not, people judge your leadership potential largely by how you communicate. Two people with identical capabilities will be perceived very differently based on communication alone. One speaks with confidence, clarity, and authority. They're seen as leadership material. The other speaks hesitantly, vaguely, or passively. They're overlooked despite equal or superior abilities. The difference isn't substance, it's communication, and communication can be transformed. You don't need to become someone you're not. You don't need to adopt a fake persona or manipulate people. You need to learn to communicate your authentic self with power and clarity. This audiobook will teach you how. We'll explore 10 essential dimensions of leadership communication. Speaking with confidence and authority, using clear and concise language, mastering the art of storytelling, asking powerful questions, listening like a leader, controlling tone and body language, handling difficult conversations, inspiring and motivating through words, building credibility through speech, and developing your authentic leadership voice. These aren't just speaking tips. They're comprehensive frameworks for transforming how you communicate in all contexts: meetings, presentations, one-on-one conversations, negotiations, conflicts, and daily interactions. But I need to be honest. Changing how you communicate is uncomfortable. You've been talking a certain way for years. New patterns feel strange initially. You might feel like you're performing rather than being authentic. This discomfort is temporary. As you practice new communication patterns, they become natural. Eventually, powerful communication isn't something you do, it's who you are. Most people never develop leadership communication. They talk the same way their entire lives, wondering why they're not advancing or influencing as they should. Can you be different? Can you commit to developing communication that matches your leadership potential? Can you practice new patterns, even when they feel uncomfortable? If yes, then this journey will transform how people perceive and respond to you. Because here's what happens when you learn to talk like a leader. Everything changes. People listen when you speak. Your ideas are taken seriously. Your suggestions are implemented. Your requests are fulfilled. Your presence commands respect. Your words carry weight. This isn't about manipulation. It's about communicating effectively so your genuine value and ideas are recognized and acted upon. Right now, your communication might be hiding your capabilities. People can't see your full potential because your words don't convey it. This is frustrating and limiting, but it's fixable. Through deliberate practice, you can develop communication that reveals and amplifies your leadership capacity. Think about your goals. Do they require influence? Do they require persuading others? Do they require inspiring action? Do they require building trust? All of these require leadership communication. Your goals stay unreachable if you can't communicate in ways that move people toward them. So, let's begin. Let's systematically develop each dimension of leadership communication. Let's transform how you speak, listen, and converse. Let's make your words match your potential. Let's make your communication reflect your leadership capacity. Because leaders aren't born knowing how to communicate powerfully. They learn. They practice. They develop these skills deliberately. You can do the same. Starting now. Your words have more power than you realize, but only if you learn to use them like a leader. Let's begin that transformation. Let's learn how to talk like a leader. Chapter 1. Speak with confidence and authority. The foundation of leadership communication is speaking with confidence and authority. Not arrogance, confidence. Not domination, authority. When you speak with confidence, people believe you. When you speak with authority, people respect you. Together, these qualities make your words influential. Most people undermine themselves through weak speech patterns. They apologize unnecessarily. They use tentative language. They speak as if asking permission for their own ideas. This kills leadership presence. Here's how to speak with confidence and authority. Eliminate qualifiers and hedges. Weak speakers use excessive qualifiers. I kind of think. Maybe we should. I'm not sure. But. This might be wrong. But. These phrases signal uncertainty and undermine your message. They tell listeners you don't believe your own words. Strong speakers state things directly. I think. We should. My analysis shows. The solution is. This doesn't mean you can't express uncertainty. But express it deliberately, not habitually. I'm certain about X. I'm still evaluating Y. Use declarative statements. Weak speakers turn statements into questions. We could try this approach. Voice rising at the end, seeking approval. Leaders make declarative statements. We'll try this approach. Period. Confident. Clear. Speak at appropriate volume. Volume communicates confidence. Speaking too softly suggests you don't want to be heard. Speaking too loudly suggests you're compensating for weakness. Find the volume that fills the space without shouting. Project your voice. Speak as if you expect to be heard. Control your pace. Nervous speakers rush. They speak quickly, as if trying to get through their words before being interrupted. Confident speakers have a measured pace. They take their time. They're not worried about interruption because they know their words have value. Slow down slightly. Pause between thoughts. Give your words space to land. Eliminate filler words. Like, you know. These erode authority. They signal uncertain thinking and unprepared speech. Practice eliminating fillers. When you need to think, pause silently, rather than filling space with sounds. Use pauses powerfully. Weak speakers fear silence. They fill every second with words or sounds. Strong speakers use pauses strategically. Pause before important points for emphasis. Pause after key statements to let them sink in. Pause instead of using fillers when thinking. Silence, used well, creates power. Make eye contact. When speaking to individuals or small groups, maintain strong eye contact. When addressing larger groups, hold eye contact with individuals for 3 to 5 seconds before moving on. Eye contact conveys confidence and creates connection. Avoiding it suggests fear or dishonesty. Stand or sit with confident posture. Physical posture affects vocal confidence. Stand tall, sit upright, don't slouch, or make yourself small. Your body language should match your verbal confidence. Own your space. Don't apologize for taking up space or time. You have the right to speak. You have valuable things to say. When you speak, fully occupy the moment. Don't shrink or minimize yourself. Avoid apologizing unnecessarily. Many people begin speaking with apologies. Sorry, but sorry to bother you. Sorry if this is stupid. Stop. Don't apologize for having ideas or taking time. Save apologies for actual mistakes. Use I statements confidently. Own your opinions. I believe. I've decided. I recommend. Don't hide behind passive voice. It's been decided. People say. Take ownership of your positions. Project calm confidence, not anxiety. Even when you're nervous internally, project external calm. Controlled breathing. Measured speech. Steady demeanor. This projected confidence often becomes real confidence. Practice power posing before important conversations. Physical posture affects mental state. Before important speaking moments, spend 2 minutes in a power pose, expansive, open posture. This increases confidence hormones and reduces stress hormones. Believe what you're saying. You can't fake genuine confidence. If you don't believe your words, others won't either. Speak about things you genuinely believe. This creates authentic confidence that's unmistakable. Accept that confidence builds through practice. You might not feel confident initially. Speak confidently anyway. Over time, the feeling follows the behavior. Here's why confidence and authority matter. People follow confident leaders, not because confidence equals correctness, but because confidence inspires trust and action. When you speak with authority, people assume you know what you're talking about. When you speak tentatively, people doubt you, even if you're right. Fair? No. Reality? Yes. Your ideas deserve to be heard. Communicate them with the confidence and authority that makes people actually listen and act. Practice these patterns daily. In every conversation, eliminate one weak pattern and add one strong one. Gradually, confident, authoritative speech becomes natural. Speak with confidence and authority. Make your words impossible to ignore. Chapter 2. Use clear and concise language. Leaders communicate clearly. They don't confuse. They don't obscure. They make complex ideas understandable and simple ideas memorable. Clarity is power. When people understand you immediately, they can act on your words. When they're confused, your leadership stalls while they try to figure out what you meant. Most people communicate unclearly. They use jargon unnecessarily. They overcomplicate simple concepts. They ramble without structure. They assume understanding rather than ensuring it. Here's how to communicate with clarity and concision. Think before speaking. Unclear communication often comes from unclear thinking. Before speaking, know what you want to say. What's the main point? What do you want listeners to understand or do? Clarify your thinking first. Then express it clearly. State your main point first. Don't bury your conclusion. Start with it. The main point is, here's what matters. The bottom line is, then provide supporting details if needed. But lead with the conclusion. Use simple words. Don't use complex words to sound smart. Use simple words to be clear. Don't say utilize, say use. Don't say facilitate, say help. Don't say implement, say do. Simple words are powerful words. They're clear and accessible. Eliminate jargon. Every field has jargon. It's useful when everyone understands it. It's terrible when anyone doesn't. If you're not certain everyone knows the term, use plain language instead. Synergize, cross-functional deliverables, is jargon. Work together to finish projects, is clear. Be specific, not vague. Vague. We need to improve performance. Clear. We need to reduce response time from 48 hours to 24 hours. Vague. We should meet soon. Clear. Let's meet Tuesday at 2 p.m. Specificity prevents misunderstanding and enables action. Use concrete examples. Abstract concepts become clear through concrete examples. Don't just explain the principle. Show what it looks like in practice. For example, or, to illustrate. Then give a specific instance. Structure your communication. Rambling confuses. Structure clarifies. There are 3 key points. First, second, third. Or, the problem is, the solution is, the next step is. Structure helps listeners follow and remember. Cut unnecessary words. Every word should earn its place. If removing a word doesn't change meaning, remove it. Not, I just wanted to quickly say that I basically think we should probably consider trying to. But, I think we should. Concision creates clarity and respect for listeners' time. Use active voice. Passive voice obscures. Active voice clarifies. Passive. Mistakes were made. By whom? Active. We made mistakes. Active voice creates accountability and clarity. One idea per sentence. Don't pack multiple ideas into complex sentences. Break them up. Complex. Due to market conditions which have changed significantly over the past quarter, resulting in decreased demand, we need to adjust our strategy, which should focus on cost reduction while maintaining quality standards that customers expect. Clear. Market demand has decreased this quarter. We need to adjust our strategy. We'll focus on reducing costs while maintaining quality. Check for understanding. Don't assume clarity. Verify it. Does that make sense? Any questions? Let me make sure I explain that clearly. What's your understanding? This isn't insulting listeners. It's ensuring communication succeeded. Avoid abbreviations and acronyms. Unless you're certain everyone knows them, spell things out. Even common acronyms might be unfamiliar to someone. Don't alienate people through unnecessary abbreviations. Use analogies and metaphors strategically. Complex ideas become clear through comparison to familiar concepts. This system works like, think of it as, good analogies create instant understanding. Define terms when necessary. If you must use technical terms, define them immediately. We're implementing agile methodology that means working in short cycles with frequent feedback. Repeat key points. Repetition aids retention. State your main point multiple times in different ways. The key is consistency. I can't emphasize enough how important consistency is. Everything depends on doing this consistently. Summarize at the end. Especially in longer communications. End with a summary. To recap. Or, the main points are. This ensures key information is retained. Here's why clarity and concision matter. Leaders have limited time. Audiences have limited attention. Every word should efficiently convey meaning. Unclear communication wastes time, creates confusion, and reduces your credibility. If they can't explain it simply, they probably don't understand it. Clear communication saves time, prevents misunderstandings, and builds credibility. People trust leaders who can make complex things understandable. Additionally, clarity enables action. When people understand exactly what you mean, they can act on it. Confusion creates hesitation and inaction. Practice clarity daily. Before important communications, outline your key points. Practice expressing them in simplest possible terms. Record yourself sometimes. Listen back. Are you clear? Concise? Specific? If not, revise and improve. Use clear and concise language. Make understanding easy. Lead through clarity. Chapter 3. Master the art of storytelling. Leaders tell stories. Stories engage emotions. They create memorable messages. They inspire action in ways pure information never could. Think about any powerful speech or presentation you remember. Chances are, you remember stories from it, not statistics or bullet points. Stories are how humans have communicated important information for thousands of years. They're wired into our brains as the natural form of meaningful communication. Yet most people in professional contexts avoid stories. They present data, facts, and logic. These are necessary, but insufficient for leadership communication. Here's how to master storytelling. Understand story structure. Every good story has structure. Setup, conflict, resolution. Setup. Establish the situation and characters. Conflict. What went wrong, or what was challenging? Resolution. How was it resolved and what was learned? Even brief stories need this structure to be satisfying. Use personal stories strategically. Personal stories create connection and credibility. Share stories of your own failures and how you learned from them, your struggles and how you overcame them, your experiences that taught you something valuable. Personal vulnerability in stories creates trust. Tell stories about others. Not just personal stories, stories about customers, team members, historical figures, anyone relevant. Let me tell you about Sarah, who used this approach too. Stories about others make points vivid and memorable. Start with the story, not the lesson. Don't say, "I'm going to tell you a story about persistence." Just tell the story. Let the lesson emerge naturally. The story itself should make the point. Explicitly stating the moral often weakens impact. Use sensory details. Vague stories don't engage. Specific sensory details do. Not, "I was nervous before the presentation," but, "My hands were shaking as I stood behind the curtain, hearing my name being announced." Details make stories vivid and memorable. Keep stories relevant and concise. Every story should serve your point. Don't tell stories just to entertain. And keep them concise. Long, rambling stories lose audiences. Include only relevant details. Use the hero's journey framework. Powerful stories often follow this pattern. Someone faces a challenge, goes through difficulties, emerges transformed. This structure works because it mirrors how we experience growth and change. Show. Don't just tell. Don't tell audiences how someone felt. Show it through their actions and words. Not, "He was frustrated," but, "He threw the report on the desk and said, 'This isn't working.'" Showing creates more vivid, believable stories. Use dialogue. Including actual quotes makes stories come alive. "She looked at me and said, 'We have two choices: give up or try something completely different.'" Dialogue makes listeners feel like they're there. Connect stories to your message. Every story should reinforce your main point. After the story, briefly connect it. That's why preparation matters so much. This shows what's possible when we work together. Make the connection explicit if it's not obvious. Vary story types. Use different kinds of stories for different purposes. Success stories inspire. Failure stories teach. Transformation stories motivate. Origin stories build connection. Vision stories create shared direction. Practice storytelling. You won't master this without practice. Tell stories regularly in conversations. Notice which stories land well and why. Refine your storytelling through repetition and feedback. Build a story bank. Collect stories relevant to common themes in your leadership. Stories about overcoming obstacles, learning from failure, great customer experiences, team success, innovation. Whatever themes matter in your context. Having ready stories makes you a more effective communicator. Use stories to open presentations. Starting with a story engages audiences immediately. They lean in, wondering how the story will unfold, and connect to your topic. Use stories to illustrate data. Numbers tell you what. Stories tell you why and what it means. Revenue increased 20% is data. Let me tell you about Marcus, one of our customers who switched from our competitor because is a story that makes the data meaningful. End with powerful stories. Stories at the end are remembered most. Close with a story that encapsulates your message and inspires action. Here's why storytelling matters for leaders. Stories bypass logical resistance. When you present pure logic, people can argue with it. When you tell stories, people experience them emotionally before they can analyze them. Stories are remembered far better than facts. People forget statistics, but remember stories for years. Stories inspire action. Emotional connection through stories motivates people in ways logic alone cannot. Think about leaders who've influenced you most. They probably told powerful stories that stuck with you. You can do the same. Build your storytelling capacity. Use it strategically to enhance your leadership communication. Master storytelling. Make your messages unforgettable. Lead through narrative. Chapter 4. Ask powerful questions. Leaders don't just make statements, they ask powerful questions. Questions that make people think. Questions that reveal truth. Questions that inspire solutions. Questions that challenge assumptions. Most people ask weak questions, questions that can be answered with yes, no. Questions that lead nowhere. Questions that don't reveal anything meaningful. Strong leaders ask questions that open possibilities, clarify thinking, and empower others to discover answers themselves. Here's how to ask powerful questions. Ask open-ended questions. Closed questions get minimal responses. Did that work? Yes. Open questions get expansive responses. What worked and what didn't? Well, the first part went well because, but we struggled with. Open questions invite thinking and dialogue. They begin with what, how, why, tell me about, describe, explain. Ask what and how instead of why. Why often makes people defensive. Why did you do it that way? What and how invite explanation without blame. What was your thinking? How did you approach this? Use silence after asking. After asking a question, stop talking. Don't fill the silence. Let the other person think and respond. Many people ask questions then immediately start talking again, defeating the purpose. Ask questions that focus on solutions, not just problems. Don't just ask what's wrong. Ask what could work. What's not working? Identifies problems. What would success look like? Focuses on solutions. Ask questions that empower others. Instead of giving answers, ask questions that help others find their own answers. Not, here's what you should do, but, what options are you considering? What do you think would work best? Challenge assumptions with questions. When you sense faulty assumptions, question them gently. What makes us think that's true? What if the opposite were the case? Questions challenge more effectively than direct contradiction. Ask clarifying questions. When something's unclear, ask, can you say more about that? What specifically do you mean by, help me understand? Don't pretend to understand when you don't. Use hypothetical questions. What would you do if we had unlimited resources? If we started from scratch? Hypotheticals free people from current constraints to think creatively. Ask about feelings and emotions. Leaders often focus only on facts. Don't ignore emotions. How do you feel about this? What concerns you most? What excites you? Emotions drive behavior. Understanding them is crucial. Ask questions that reveal values. What matters most to you about this? What would you never compromise on? What does success really mean? Values drive decisions. Questions that reveal values create clarity. Ask permission questions. Before giving advice or feedback, would you like my thoughts on this? Can I share what I'm noticing? And permission questions show respect and increase openness to what follows. Ask reflective questions. Questions that prompt reflection. What did you learn from this? What would you do differently? What surprised you? Reflection deepens learning and insight. Ask questions about the future. Where do you see this going? What do you want to create? What will success look like 6 months from now? Future-focused questions inspire vision and action. Avoid leading questions. Leading questions aren't real questions, they're statements disguised as questions. Don't you think we should? Real questions are genuine inquiries, not rhetorical devices. Ask follow-up questions. Don't move on too quickly. Dig deeper. Tell me more. What else? Can you give me an example? Follow-ups show you're really listening and often reveal what matters most. Ask yourself powerful questions. Use questions for self-reflection too. What am I not seeing? What assumptions am I making? What would I do if I weren't afraid? Here's why powerful questions matter for leaders. Questions engage people. Statements can be passively received. Questions require active thinking. Questions develop others. When you give answers, people stay dependent. When you ask questions that lead them to answers, they grow. Questions reveal truth. People often don't share truth unprompted. Good questions draw it out. Questions create ownership. When people answer questions and discover their own solutions, they're committed to implementing them. Think about conversations that changed your perspective. Probably someone asked you a powerful question that made you think differently. You can create those moments for others through strategic questioning. Practice questioning in every conversation. Before you make a statement, ask if a question would be more effective. Ask powerful questions. Listen deeply to answers. Lead through inquiry, not just declaration. Chapter 5. Listen like a leader. Most people think leadership communication is about speaking. But listening is equally important, maybe more important. Leaders who don't listen make poor decisions because they lack information. They alienate people who feel unheard. They miss opportunities because they're not paying attention. Strong leaders listen deeply. They understand what's being said and what's not being said. They make people feel heard, which builds trust and loyalty. But most people are terrible listeners. They're waiting to talk, not actually listening. They're formulating responses instead of absorbing meaning. They're distracted by phones, thoughts, or surroundings. Here's how to listen like a leader. Listen to understand, not to respond. Most people listen just enough to formulate their response. That's not real listening. Listen with the sole intention of understanding what the other person means, thinks, and feels. Responses come later. Give full attention. Put down your phone. Close your laptop. Face the speaker. Make eye contact. Physical attention signals that you value what they're saying. Distraction signals the opposite. Don't interrupt. Let people finish their thoughts completely before you speak. Interrupting says, "What I want to say is more important than what you're saying." It shuts down communication. Listen to feelings, not just facts. People communicate emotions alongside information. Both matter. Notice tone, body language, energy. What are they feeling about what they're saying? Ask clarifying questions. Don't assume you understand. Verify. So what you're saying is, do you mean, help me understand? Clarification shows you're listening and prevents misunderstanding. Reflect back what you hear. Summarize periodically. It sounds like you're concerned about. What I'm hearing is. Reflection confirms understanding and makes speakers feel heard. Notice what's not being said. Sometimes what's omitted is most important. What topics are they avoiding? What emotions are they suppressing? What assumptions are they making without stating? Suspend judgment. Don't mentally evaluate or criticize while listening. Just listen. Judgment interferes with understanding. You can evaluate after you've fully understood. Be comfortable with silence. Don't fill every pause. Silence allows people to think, and often leads to deeper sharing. Watch your body language. Your physical presence affects how people feel sharing with you. Open posture. Nodding. Appropriate facial expressions showing engagement. These encourage continued sharing. Avoid planning your response. When you start thinking about what you'll say, you've stopped listening. Trust that after you've listened fully, you'll know how to respond. Listen for patterns and themes. Over time, notice recurring topics, concerns, or interests. Patterns reveal what really matters to someone. One-time mentions might be casual. Patterns are significant. Confirm understanding before offering solutions. Before jumping to advice or solutions, make sure you understand the full picture. Have I understood correctly? Is there anything else I should know about this? Listen with empathy. Try to feel what they're feeling. See what they're seeing. Step into their perspective. Empathetic listening creates deep connection and trust. Don't hijack conversations. When someone shares an experience, don't immediately share your similar experience. Oh, that reminds me of when I shifts focus to you. Keep focus on them. Take notes when appropriate. In formal contexts, taking notes shows you value what's being said enough to remember it. But don't let note-taking distract from actually listening. Follow up on what you've heard. Remember what people tell you. Reference it later. How did that project you mentioned go? Did you figure out that challenge you were facing? Following up proves you really listened and cared. Create space for difficult truths. People often hesitate to share bad news or criticism. Make it safe. I want to hear the truth, even if it's hard. What am I not seeing? What do you wish I understood? Practice active listening daily. In every conversation, practice one listening skill from this chapter. Gradually, deep listening becomes automatic. Here's why listening matters for leaders. You can't lead people you don't understand. Understanding comes from listening. Listening builds trust. When people feel heard, they trust you. When they don't feel heard, they don't trust you regardless of what you say. Listening reveals problems early. People will tell you what's wrong if you listen. If you don't listen, problems fester until they're crises. Listening empowers others. When you listen deeply to someone's ideas, you validate their thinking and encourage their contribution. Listening improves decisions. The best decisions come from gathering information broadly. Listening is how you gather that information. Think about leaders you've most respected. They probably listened well. They made you feel heard and understood. You can create that experience for others. Through deep, genuine listening, listen like a leader. Make people feel heard. Lead through understanding. Chapter 6. Control your tone and body language. Your words matter, but how you say them might matter more. Tone and body language often communicate more powerfully than the actual words you use. You can say, "Great job," with a tone that conveys genuine appreciation or dripping sarcasm. You can say, "I'm happy to help," with body language that screams annoyance. Leaders master nonverbal communication. They ensure their tone and body language align with and reinforce their words. Most people are unaware of their nonverbal communication. They focus on words while unknowingly undermining them through tone and body language. Here's how to control tone and body language. Match tone to message. Serious messages require serious tone. Celebratory messages require enthusiastic tone. Empathetic messages require warm tone. Mismatched tone confuses listeners. "I'm so proud of you," said in monotone, doesn't land as genuine. Vary your vocal tone. Monotone is boring and unpersuasive. Vary your pitch, volume, and pace for emphasis and engagement. Important points might be slightly louder and slower. Questions might rise in pitch. Stories might be more animated. Control your pace. Speaking too fast suggests nervousness or trying to rush through. Too slow suggests lack of energy or respect for time. Find a comfortable, natural pace. Slow down for important points. Speed up slightly for less critical information. Use strategic pauses. Pauses create emphasis and give listeners time to absorb information. Pause before important statements. Pause after key points. Pause instead of using filler words. Project warmth or authority as appropriate. Different situations require different tones. Warmth, higher pitch, softer volume, animated expression, open body language. Authority, lower pitch, steady volume, composed expression, grounded posture. Leaders can access both. Maintain strong posture. Posture affects how you're perceived and how you feel. Stand or sit upright, shoulders back, head up, taking up appropriate space. Slouching or hunching suggests low confidence or energy. Use open body language. Crossed arms suggest defensiveness or closedness. Open arms suggest openness and confidence. Hands visible and occasionally gesturing. Body facing the person you're addressing. Make appropriate eye contact. Too little suggests dishonesty or insecurity. Too much feels aggressive. Generally, maintain eye contact 60–70% of the time in conversation. In presentations, move eye contact around the room. Gesture purposefully. Gestures should reinforce your message, not distract from it. Use gestures to emphasize points, to show relationships between ideas, to convey size or movement. But keep gestures controlled. Excessive or random gestures distract. Control facial expressions. Your face conveys emotion. Ensure it matches your message. Smiling when delivering bad news confuses. Frowning when celebrating contradicts. Be aware of your default expression. Some people's resting face appears angry or bored. Adjust intentionally. Mirror appropriately. Subtly matching another person's energy and body language builds rapport. If they're leaning forward and engaged, you can too. If they're more reserved, match that. But don't obviously mimic, that's insulting. Be aware of cultural differences. Tone and body language norms vary by culture. What's appropriate eye contact in one culture might be aggressive in another. What's respectful distance in one might be cold in another. Learn cultural norms for contexts you operate in. Manage nervous habits. Notice what you do when nervous. Fidgeting, touching face, adjusting clothes, shifting weight. These habits undermine authority. Practice eliminating them in high-stakes situations. Use space confidently. Don't make yourself small. Take up appropriate space. In presentations, use the stage. In meetings, sit fully in your chair rather than perching on the edge. Pay attention to others' nonverbal cues. Not just your own, read others too. Are they engaged or bored? Agreeing or resistant? Confused or understanding? Nonverbal cues tell you how your message is landing. Practice in front of a mirror or camera. You can't improve what you don't see. Record yourself in practice presentations. Watch without sound to focus on body language. With sound to hear your tone. What works? What undermines you? Adjust accordingly. Get feedback. Ask trusted people. What do you notice about my body language? How does my tone come across? We're often blind to our own nonverbal communication. Others can help us see. Here's why tone and body language matter. Research suggests 93% of communication impact comes from nonverbal elements. Your actual words might be less than half of your message. When verbal and nonverbal messages conflict, people believe the nonverbal. "I'm fine," said with angry tone, and crossed arms isn't believed. Nonverbal communication is often unconscious, and therefore seen as more truthful than words, which can be carefully controlled. Leaders must ensure alignment. Your tone and body language should reinforce your words, not contradict them. Practice awareness. In conversations this week, notice your tone and body language. Are they serving your message or undermining it? Make adjustments. Practice new patterns until they become natural. Control your tone and body language. Make your nonverbal communication work for you, not against you. Chapter 7. Handle difficult conversations. Leaders regularly face difficult conversations, delivering bad news, addressing poor performance, resolving conflicts, making unpopular decisions. How you handle these conversations determines your effectiveness as a leader. Handle them well, and you build trust even in difficulty. Handle them poorly, and you damage relationships and credibility. Most people avoid difficult conversations entirely, or handle them terribly too harsh, too soft, too vague, too emotional. Here's how to handle difficult conversations like a leader. Don't avoid them. The first mistake is avoidance. Difficult conversations don't improve with time. They get worse. Address issues promptly. Delaying just increases anxiety and allows problems to grow. Prepare thoroughly. Don't wing difficult conversations. Plan what you need to say. What's the specific issue? What facts support your concern? What outcome do you want? What will you say if they react defensively? Preparation creates confidence and clarity. Choose the right time and place. Don't ambush people or have difficult conversations in public. Private setting. Adequate time. Not when either party is rushed or distracted. Start with respect and care. Even when delivering hard messages, convey respect for the person. I respect you and want to discuss something important. This sets a constructive tone. Be direct and specific. Don't hint. Don't speak in code. State the issue clearly. Not. Some people feel like maybe you're not quite as engaged as you could be. But I've noticed you've missed 3 deadlines this month. Let's discuss what's happening. Directness is respect. It allows the person to actually address the issue. Focus on behavior, not character. Describe specific actions, not personality judgments. Not, you're irresponsible and unprofessional. But, you've arrived late to meetings 5 times this month. Behavior can be changed. Character attacks create defensiveness. Use I statements. Express your perspective without accusation. I'm concerned about. I've observed. I need. This is less accusatory than you always or you never. Listen to their perspective. Difficult conversations aren't monologues. After stating your concern, listen. Help me understand what's happening from your side. What's your perspective on this? They might have information that changes your understanding. Stay calm and composed. Even if they get emotional, maintain your composure. Slow, steady speech. Controlled tone. Calm body language. Your calm can de-escalate their emotion. Acknowledge emotions without being controlled by them. If they're upset, acknowledge it. I can see this is frustrating for you, but don't let emotion derail the conversation. I understand you're upset. Let's figure out how to address this. Separate person from problem. You're not attacking them. You're addressing a problem together. This situation needs resolution. How can we work together to solve it? Be honest, but not cruel. Difficult truths need to be said, but they can be said with kindness. Honesty without compassion is brutality. Compassion without honesty is enabling. Leaders balance both. Focus on solutions, not just problems. After identifying the issue, shift to solutions. Here's what needs to change. What ideas do you have for making that happen? Set clear expectations. Don't leave difficult conversations vague. Going forward, I need you to. The expectation is, if this doesn't improve, the consequence is. Clarity prevents future conflict about whether expectations were met. Document when appropriate. Some difficult conversations, especially performance issues, need documentation. Follow up in writing. To recap our conversation, this creates a record and ensures shared understanding. Follow up after the conversation. Check in later. How are things going with what we discussed? Do you need any support? Follow-up shows you care about resolution, not just confrontation. Know when to involve others. Some situations require HR, legal, or senior leadership involvement. Don't handle serious issues in isolation. Know your limits and when to escalate. Take care of yourself afterward. Difficult conversations are draining. Process them appropriately. Debrief with a trusted colleague. Journal. Exercise. Don't just move on without processing. Here's why handling difficult conversations well matters. Avoided conversations create festering problems. Small issues become crises. Resentment builds. Trust erodes. Handled conversations, even difficult ones, create clarity, resolution, and often stronger relationships. People respect leaders who address issues directly and fairly. Poor handling damages relationships permanently. Too harsh, and you destroy trust. Too vague, and nothing changes. Skilled handling builds reputation as a fair, direct leader who can be trusted with tough situations. Practice these skills in smaller difficult conversations before you need them in major ones. Handle difficult conversations with courage, clarity, and compassion. Address issues directly. Resolve problems constructively. Chapter 8. Inspire and motivate through words. Leaders must inspire. They must motivate people to action, especially difficult action. They must create enthusiasm for vision. They must maintain morale through challenges. Inspiration doesn't come from logic and data alone. It comes from language that touches emotions, connects to values, and paints compelling visions. Most people communicate only to inform. Leaders communicate to inspire. Here's how to inspire and motivate through words. Connect to purpose. People aren't motivated by tasks. They're motivated by meaning. Don't just describe what needs to be done. Explain why it matters. Not, we need to increase sales by 20%. But, when we increase sales, we help more families solve their problems. We create more opportunities for our team. We build a stronger company for everyone's future. Purpose inspires. Tasks don't. Paint vivid pictures of the future. Help people see what success looks like. Imagine 6 months from now when we've achieved this. Our customers are raving about us. Our team is energized. We're industry leaders. That's what we're building. Vivid future visions inspire present action. Use emotional language. Logic appeals to the head. Emotion appeals to the heart. Both are necessary. Include words that evoke feeling. Triumph, breakthrough, transformation, breakthrough, achievement, pride, excellence. But be genuine. Fake emotion is obvious and off-putting. Tell inspiring stories. Stories of people overcoming obstacles. Stories of success against odds. Stories of positive impact. These stories prove that what you're calling for is possible and worthwhile. Acknowledge difficulty honestly. Don't pretend challenges don't exist. Acknowledge them, then inspire people to face them. This won't be easy. There will be obstacles. But I believe in what we can achieve together. Honest acknowledgement of difficulty makes your inspiration credible, not naive. Express belief in people. Let people know you believe they're capable. I know you can do this. I've seen what you're capable of. I trust this team to figure this out. Belief creates self-fulfilling prophecy. People rise to your belief in them. Use inclusive language. We and us instead of you and them. We're going to achieve this together is more inspiring than, you need to do this. Inclusive language creates shared ownership and commitment. Reference shared values. Connect your message to values you know the audience holds. We've always valued innovation. This is our chance to live that value. Values alignment inspires action. Use concrete sensory language. Abstract concepts don't inspire. Concrete images do. Not, we'll improve our processes. But, we'll cut the red tape that frustrates you. You'll see decisions made in days instead of months. You'll feel the difference. Vary your energy and intensity. Monotone doesn't inspire. Passionate delivery does. Increase volume and intensity for key points. Slow down for weight. Speed up for excitement. Your energy is contagious. Bring the energy level you want from your audience. Call people to greatness. Don't ask for minimum effort. Call them to their best selves. This is our moment to show what we're capable of. To create something we're proud of. To prove that we're not just good, we're excellent. Create memorable phrases. Simple, memorable statements that capture your message. Excellence, not excuses. Move fast, think big. Better every day. These become rallying cries people remember and repeat. End with clear call to action. Inspiration without direction dissipates. Tell people what to do. Here's what I'm asking. Start today. Take one action. Show what you're capable of. Let's make this happen. Be authentic. You can't inspire through manipulation or performance. Inspiration requires genuine passion and belief. Speak about things you truly believe in. Your authentic passion is contagious. Use rhetorical devices. Techniques like repetition, parallel structure, and contrasts create memorable, powerful messages. We will not retreat. We will not compromise. We will not settle for less than excellence. Celebrate progress and wins. Recognition and celebration are motivating. Look at what we've already achieved. 6 months ago, this seemed impossible. Now look at us. Express gratitude. Appreciation motivates continued effort. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for pushing through difficulty. Thank you for believing in this. Here's why inspirational communication matters. People don't give discretionary effort for uninspiring reasons. They do the minimum. Inspired people go above and beyond. Inspiration sustains effort through difficulty. When things get hard, logic alone doesn't keep people going. Connection to purpose does. Inspiration creates loyalty. People want to work for and with leaders who inspire them. Leaders who can only inform but not inspire hit a ceiling. They can manage but not lead. Practice inspirational language. Don't save it only for formal speeches. Inspire in daily conversations. Inspire and motivate through your words. Create emotional connection. Call people to their best selves. Chapter 9. Build credibility. Through speech. Leadership communication requires credibility. Without it, people don't trust your words or follow your direction. Credibility is built or destroyed through how you speak. Every communication either adds to or subtracts from your credibility bank. Most people unknowingly undermine their credibility through poor communication habits. They say things that make others doubt them. Here's how to build credibility through speech. Be accurate. Never exaggerate or misrepresent facts. If you're uncertain, say so. I believe. Or, my understanding is. When you're not certain. The data shows. When you are. One discovered inaccuracy damages credibility for everything else you say. Admit what you don't know. I don't know is credible. Making up answers is not. I don't know, but I'll find out. Shows integrity and competence. Guessing shows neither. Follow through on commitments. If you say you'll do something, do it. Your words become credible when your actions consistently match them. Broken commitments destroy credibility rapidly. Be consistent. Don't say one thing today and contradict it tomorrow. Consistency builds trust. Inconsistency makes people wonder which version to believe. Own your mistakes. When you're wrong, admit it quickly and clearly. I was wrong about that. Here's what I've learned. This builds credibility through honesty and growth. Speak with appropriate confidence. Not arrogance, confidence. Know the difference. Arrogance. I'm obviously right, and anyone who disagrees is stupid. Confidence. I'm confident in this analysis, and I'm open to other perspectives. Use data and evidence. Support claims with facts. Research shows. The data indicates. We've tested this and found. Evidence makes your words credible. Unsupported assertions don't. Give credit appropriately. Don't take credit for others' ideas or work. As Maria pointed out, building on what the team discovered, giving credit builds your credibility while building others. Avoid gossip and trash talk. Speaking negatively about others damages your credibility with everyone who hears it. They wonder, do they talk about me like this too? Be measured in criticism. Harsh, unfair criticism makes you seem unprofessional. Thoughtful, constructive criticism builds credibility as someone whose judgment can be trusted. Keep confidences. If someone shares something in confidence, keep it. Breaking confidences destroys credibility permanently. No one trusts someone who can't keep confidence. Speak respectfully of everyone, including people who aren't present, including people you disagree with. I respect their position even though I see it differently. Maintains your credibility. Avoid hyperbole. The greatest, the worst, always, never. Excessive language damages credibility. This is one of the best, is more credible than this is the greatest ever. Be specific. Vague claims lack credibility. Specific details create it. Sales improved significantly is vague. Sales increased 23% from Q1 to Q2 is credible. Acknowledge complexity. Real situations are complex. Oversimplified explanations suggest you don't understand nuance. There are multiple factors here. Shows depth of understanding. Cite sources. According to Harvard Business Review, as Deming wrote, citing credible sources borrows their credibility for your argument. Use appropriate language. Match your language sophistication to your audience. Too simple might insult. Too complex might confuse. Both damage credibility. Demonstrate expertise. Show, don't just claim, that you know what you're talking about. Not, I'm an expert in this field. But, share insights that demonstrate expertise naturally. Be prepared. Nothing destroys credibility like being unprepared. Know your material. Anticipate questions. Have data ready. Preparation shows in your confidence and precision. Maintain calm under pressure. Composure in difficulty builds credibility. Leaders who panic or lose control lose credibility. Those who stay calm maintain it. Correct misinformation gracefully. If someone shares incorrect information, correct it tactfully. Actually, the data shows something slightly different. Better than, that's completely wrong. Here's why credibility matters. Without credibility, your words carry no weight. People don't act on them. They don't trust them. They don't remember them. With credibility, everything you say is taken seriously. People listen, trust, act. Credibility takes time to build, and seconds to destroy. Every communication is an opportunity to build it, or a risk of destroying it. Guard your credibility. Build it through consistent, honest, accurate communication. Build credibility through speech. Make your words trustworthy. Lead through earned authority. Chapter 10. Develop your authentic leadership voice. You've learned techniques throughout this audiobook. But leadership communication isn't just about technique. It's about finding and using your authentic leadership voice. Your authentic voice is communication that's true to who you are, while incorporating leadership principles. It's not imitation or performance. It's you, evolved. Many people struggle because they try to copy others' communication styles. They try to be someone they're not. This always fails. People sense inauthenticity. Here's how to develop your authentic leadership voice. Understand that authentic doesn't mean unchanged. Some people think authentic means however I naturally communicate. No. Authentic means true to your core self, while incorporating growth and development. You're authentically you while speaking with more clarity, confidence, and effectiveness. Identify your core communication strengths. What do you already do well? Maybe you're naturally warm, or analytical, or storyteller, or direct, or empathetic. Build on strengths rather than trying to eliminate them. Acknowledge your communication weaknesses. What undermines your effectiveness? Maybe you ramble, or speak too softly, or avoid difficult topics, or over-explain. Work on weaknesses while maintaining your authentic strengths. Study leaders you admire, but don't imitate them. Learn principles from them. Adapt their techniques, but express them in your way. If they use humor and you're not naturally funny, don't force it. Find your own way to connect. Experiment with different approaches. Try various techniques from this audiobook. See what feels authentic and effective for you. Some will feel natural. Some will feel forced. Keep what works. Discard what doesn't. Get feedback on how you're perceived. Ask trusted people. How do I come across when I communicate? What's my communication style? Their observations help you understand your current voice. Align communication with your values. Your leadership voice should reflect what matters to you. If integrity matters, communicate with transparency. If collaboration matters, use inclusive language. Let your values shape your voice. Be willing to feel awkward initially. New communication patterns feel strange at first. This doesn't mean they're inauthentic. Like learning any skill, there's an awkward stage. Push through it. Record yourself and review. Video or audio record yourself in presentations or conversations with permission. Watch or listen objectively. What works? What doesn't? What feels authentic? What feels forced? Practice in low-stakes situations first. Don't debut your evolved communication style in your most important presentation. Practice new techniques in team meetings, casual conversations, lower-stakes situations. Build comfort before high-stakes moments. Integrate gradually. Don't try to change everything at once. Add one new element at a time. This week, work on eliminating fillers. Next week, add powerful pauses. Next, practice better questions. Gradual integration feels more authentic than sudden transformation. Stay true to your personality. If you're introverted, don't try to become boisterously extroverted. Introverts can be powerful leaders through their thoughtfulness, listening, and depth. Express leadership through your natural personality. Develop flexibility. Your authentic voice shouldn't be rigid. Effective leaders adjust their communication to context. Different tone for crisis versus celebration. Different approach for individuals versus groups. Flexibility within authenticity. Refine continuously. Your leadership voice isn't fixed once developed. It evolves as you grow. Regularly reflect on your communication. What's working? What needs adjustment? Trust yourself. You don't need to be someone else. Your authentic voice, developed and refined, is powerful. Trust that you have valuable things to say and effective ways to say them. Find role models who share your communication style. If you're naturally quiet and thoughtful, study leaders who are too. Seeing different communication styles succeed reassures you that there's no one right way. Accept that not everyone will resonate with your style. Your authentic voice will connect with some and not others. That's okay. You're not trying to appeal to everyone. You're trying to lead effectively as yourself. Balance confidence with humility. Authentic leadership voice is confident in its knowledge while humble about its limitations. I'm confident about this. I'm still learning about that. Here's why authentic voice matters. Inauthenticity is exhausting. Maintaining a false persona drains energy you need for actual leadership. People sense and distrust inauthenticity. They might not know exactly what's wrong, but they feel it. Authenticity creates connection. When you're genuinely yourself, evolved and effective, people connect with and trust you. Authenticity is sustainable. You can maintain your authentic voice indefinitely. Performance eventually cracks. Your authentic leadership voice is you at your best. Not you unchanged, but you developed. You with enhanced communication skills that still feel genuinely like you. Develop it intentionally. Practice it consistently. Trust it completely. Develop your authentic leadership voice. Communicate as your best self. Lead through genuine, powerful expression. We've explored 10 dimensions of leadership communication. Speaking with confidence and authority. Using clear and concise language. Mastering storytelling. Asking powerful questions. Listening like a leader. Controlling tone and body language. Handling difficult conversations. Inspiring and motivating through words. Building credibility through speech. And developing your authentic leadership voice. These aren't just speaking techniques. They're the complete framework for communicating like a leader in all situations. But knowledge isn't transformation. Understanding these principles doesn't automatically change how you communicate. Implementation does. Here's what you need to understand. Leadership communication is learned, not innate. No one is born knowing how to speak powerfully, listen deeply, or inspire effectively. Every leader you admire learned these skills. They might have had some natural aptitude, but they developed it through practice and intention. You can do the same. Starting today. Your communication right now represents your current habits, formed over years. Some serve you well, some undermine you. The question is, are you willing to develop new habits, to practice new patterns until they become natural, to push through the awkwardness of change? If yes, and I hope you will, here's how to begin. Choose one dimension from this audiobook. Maybe confidence, maybe clarity, maybe questioning. Whatever resonates most, or addresses your biggest weakness. For the next 30 days, focus exclusively on that dimension. Practice it in every conversation. Get feedback. Refine your approach. After 30 days, you'll have made significant progress. Add another dimension, then another. Build your leadership communication systematically. Don't try to transform everything at once. That's overwhelming and leads to giving up. Transform progressively, one dimension at a time. Think about where you could be in 6 months with focused practice. 6 months of deliberately practicing leadership communication. You'd speak with confidence that makes people listen, with clarity that makes people understand, with questions that make people think, with stories that make people remember. You'd handle difficult conversations that others avoid. You'd inspire action that others can't. You'd build credibility that takes years for others. Your communication would reflect your leadership capacity. Your words would carry the weight they deserve. Now think about where you'll be in 6 months if you don't practice deliberately. Probably communicating the same way you do now, with the same limitations and frustrations. The difference between these two futures is your choice today. Will you commit to developing leadership communication? Remember, how you talk determines how you're perceived. Fair or not, people judge your leadership largely by your communication. Two people with identical capabilities are seen very differently based on communication alone. One is recognized as a leader, the other is overlooked. Don't let poor communication hide your leadership capacity. Don't let weak speech patterns undermine your strong ideas. Don't let communication be the ceiling on your potential. Develop these skills. Practice them daily. Make leadership communication part of who you are. Here's what will happen. Your influence will expand. When you communicate like a leader, people follow. Your ideas gain traction. Your suggestions are implemented. Your leadership is recognized. Your opportunities will increase. Leaders seek people who communicate well. Better communication opens doors to roles and responsibilities previously unavailable. Your confidence will grow. When you know you can communicate effectively in any situation, you feel capable. This confidence radiates and attracts more opportunities. Your impact will multiply. Leadership communication isn't just about your success. It's about moving people toward important goals. Better communication multiplies your positive impact. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming your best self, the version of you that communicates with power, clarity, and authenticity. That person already exists within you. These skills just help that person emerge. Every conversation is practice. Every meeting is an opportunity. Every presentation is development. Don't wait for perfect conditions or formal training. Start practicing today. In your next conversation, apply one principle from this audiobook, then another conversation, another principle. Building your leadership communication one interaction at a time. The leaders you admire didn't become powerful communicators overnight. They developed these skills through years of practice and intention. You're starting that same journey now. But you're starting with clear frameworks and proven techniques. That's an advantage. Use it. Practice daily. Get feedback. Refine constantly. Within months, people will notice the change. There's something different about how you communicate. You seem more confident, more clear, more leadership-like. Within a year, your communication will be unrecognizable from today. Not because you've become someone else, but because you've developed yourself. Your authentic leadership voice, confident, clear, inspiring, credible, will be fully formed. That's the goal. That's the possibility. That's what commitment to these principles creates. So commit. Starting today. Right now. In your next conversation, speak with slightly more confidence. Use slightly clearer language. Ask one better question. Listen one level deeper. Small changes, practiced consistently, create total transformation. How you talk determines how you lead. Learn to talk like a leader, and your leadership capacity expands exponentially. Your voice is powerful. Your words matter. Your communication shapes your leadership and your impact. Use these tools. Practice these principles. Develop your authentic leadership voice. Talk like a leader. Communicate with power. Lead through words that move people. Your leadership communication journey begins now. Make every word count.